technically Steve, and I want to talk to you about 3 tools that absolutely every homeowner should have. No question about it. Like, I mean, obviously as a homeowner, especially one who's like do it yourself or being handy, there's a ton of tools that you probably should own. Maybe even you do own. Maybe you don't own these ones. And really what's especially good about these tools is the value. They're not expensive tools, super cheap things, which can definitely pay huge dividends back to you. Let's just jump in and get started here. So the first is going to be, this is a digital temperature gun. Don't point it at your eyes. Aim it at something you want to know how hot it is, and that wall is 80.2 degrees Fahrenheit or 27 degrees Celsius. They make much more expensive tools like thermal imaging cameras. If you pay for like a home efficiency audit, somebody's going to come to your house with one of these fancy tools, look around for drafts and cold air and things like that. Those tools are pretty expensive. This tool here is super not. I don't remember what I paid for it, but it was not a lot of money. And it's not a visual graphic display like those imaging cameras, but it is highly effective to walk around. Let's say it's cold outside. Walk around your house, go near all of your door frames and your window frames and point it at your ceiling upstairs. And if there's any pretty deficient areas, it will be readily easy to find those with something as simple as this infrared temperature gun. So let's talk about another tool that you should have, which is not expensive and can pay huge dividends to a homeowner. A Boroscope, or a pipe inspection camera, or an endoscope. Not just for butts, also used for plumbing in terms of the terminology. So one of these inspection cameras, they're readily available now. I think I paid 25 bucks for this like 10 or 15 years ago perhaps, and the price have only come down since. So you use this for a host of different applications. You run into the bathroom and you hear your toilet flushing, and then you see your toddler standing there holding something or part of something, and you're like, did you just flush whatever down? You don't know. Like, I mean, you can stick your arm in there and fish around, see what you can find. But I would sure rather use a pipe inspection camera to check that out. And further, these things can be used for, because they have a very small hole. If you drilled like a 3/8 inch hole, that would be tons of room for you to like slip that in behind a wall, take a look at what's going on with some insulation or some plumbing problem or any sort of handy little thing that could save you a lot of heartache if you could just get eyes on the problem and see what's going on. And the ready availableness and affordability of these pipe inspection cameras makes that a slam dunk for every homeowner. You should have one of these. You know what else you should have though? It's probably my favorite one. I love these things. This is the kilowatt meter. That's the brand in particular. What this is a wattage meter. So I plug this into my wall outlet or electrical receptacle. It's got a little plug there on the back. You just plug it on in. And now whatever I was going to be plugging in and running, my blender, a phone charger, whatever the case is, I can now monitor the electricity consumption in that device. And it's actually pretty handy. I can do a couple things. I can monitor in real time the voltage, because voltage is a variable number. It's not 115 or 120. It's some number in between like 110 and like 130 based on how far you are from the distribution center. So this will give me a real-time number here. The amperage draw for anything that I'm using, the real-time current that is flowing through the circuit, the wattage so that I can see the power consumption. It even has like a kilowatt recording function where I could like plug something in, maybe something like heavy draw appliance that I want to know how much this thing's consuming in terms of power in 24 hours or in a week or something like that. I plug this bad boy in, plug that appliance in here, and now it will record that data. So I can watch the real time, but it also has a running total function. So you can see how much power you're consuming. If you knew how many kilowatt hours of power you were consuming, or the total kilowatts used, you pay for your power by the kilowatt hour. There will be a multiplier, like 13 cents for a long time was the national average for both Canada and the USA in terms of the price you pay. It's normally a variable rate based on times of days and things like that now. But in general, you could figure out how much something is costing you by knowing the kilowatts and knowing how much you pay per kilowatt hour for your power consumption. This tool can save you a crap load of money because there's things in your home that are using more power than you think they are. Like you have some sort of circuit bar plugged in with a bunch of different things, a couple phone chargers, some other things, stuff you're not even using. And then plug this in and then note that these things all consume power even when they're off. Digital circuitry is going to have power feeding transformers and things like that. Like it's ready to go. It's not consuming zero power. And some things consume more power at standby or idle than other things do. And this little tool is a great way to go and find those things in your home and eliminate them, because these are all costing you money. At the end of the year, if you were to eliminate like half of this, unnecessary use of power in your home, that is going to be dollars back in your pocket, and that makes a difference when you're a homeowner. So I said I'd give you 3 things here. I'm going to give you a bonus one, which is this tool right here. This is an electrical receptacle tester. You're not all electricians. Nobody wants to get hurt working on electricity, but this is super easy. You plug this into, let's pretend this is a regular outlet receptacle. I take this guy, I plug it in here, and it's going to light up. It's got 2 orange lights and 1 red one. And based on what lights up, it's going to tell me whether this outlet is wired correctly or if there is a potential problem there, like an open ground or a hot and ground reverse or any other situation other than normal. Or even if it is just a normal situation, it will be no red light, 2 orange lights. That indicates that this outlet has been wired correctly. Go on and move to the next one in your house. You should plug this into every receptacle in your home. And if you buy the one that has the button on the top, not all of them do, but if you buy one that has the button on the top, that will test GFIs, or ground fault circuit interrupters, which are the plugs with the test and reset buttons, normally located in bathrooms, near kitchen sinks, things like that. You plug this in, again, check the lights to make sure it's wired properly, and then press the button to trip out the GFI and verify that it does function. Reset at the GFI, and now that plug's ready to go again. These are a handy little tool. Like really, for the cost, you should have this just for the peace of mind. I hope you found this information helpful. If you did, remember, I am technically Steve. It would technically help you if you like this video and subscribe to this YouTube channel. So I'll see you soon.